Hello, good people. So, I guess this is kind of a continuation of my last video, which should be up by now. And if it's not, then you're just going to be confused as heck. But basically, I just finished moving all my stuff out of my old apartment and I'm back here into Tom's apartment. So, we are going to be moving on March 1st to our place together. I just realized that the lights that we... Can you guys tell? Yeah, you can probably tell back there. The lights that we have, like we have like a light for like parties and like music and stuff, are actually on right now, which they don't need to be, so there we go. I digress. Okay, so I'm going to do a little story time and spill all of the tea on my situation with my old apartment. So, I've never done a story time before, and please excuse like my voice and my face. I'm sick, and I'm just trying to pretend that I'm not. I'm over it. So, I've been sick for a few days, and it's like really interrupting my life, and I'm over it. So, back to the story. Okay, so I found this beautiful apartment that I really loved, got renovated, had all the amenities. You can go back to my moving in video or my apartment hunting video if you want. I can link them down below and you'll see, okay, all of the wonderful things about my apartment, and I was really happy and I was really in love, and it was my first time moving out. And not moving out, my first time living alone, like without roommates or anything like that, and I was so super stoked. And so then basically I moved to the apartment. Obviously when you move into an apartment you have to like set up your utilities, and essentially I can't like remember all the ins and outs of it, fortunately, but essentially what ended up happening was that there was a gas leak in my specific unit. And it was like this very particular gas leak that like is so rare or something like that, of course, because that's my life. So essentially when I went to get my utilities all set up, I had to pay for gas. I was responsible for gas and electricity, I think. No, I was responsible for gas. And my landlord or my management company or whatever was responsible for heat and hot water, and then they already had electricity set up for some reason. I'm not sure. So, I went to get National Grid set up. You know how you have to like, they only can set stuff up in between 9 to 5 area, so I like took off work and all that sort of stuff. And I came ready for the appointment, whatever, blah, blah. They came and then they took a look at my stove and they were like, oh, you have a gas leak and blah, blah. And they come to find out it's like this very rare specific gas leak that doesn't really happen. Obviously it's rare, so it doesn't happen often. And they like, it's very big deal, and it has to go through them like the Department of Buildings of New York City. And so it's this really intense thing, and they have to get like a plumber. I'm like, wait, it's a gas leak, what do you get a plumber for? I really didn't understand that, but it's like you get a plumber. They have like a, oh my god, what do they call it, like a magic plumber? No, that's not it. They call it a specific plumber, a master plumber, I think. Whatever, I've never heard of it before in my life. And so they have to get the specific plumber who has to like figure out the gas leak and fix it and all this sort of stuff. So essentially when National Grid came, they couldn't turn my stove on, they couldn't turn my oven on, because that's when they found out there was a gas leak. And I was basically SOL, and I was just like, okay, whatever, I have to like, you know, Uber Eats and like just order out for however long. And I also couldn't use my dryer because that was connected to gas as well. So it was a little frustrating, obviously, but I told my management company, they had it checked out. Then the shenanigans really started. So the first thing they had to do was get a master plumber. It took them so long, I don't even recall how long, maybe a few weeks, I don't even know, to get the master plumber to come. The master plumber came, fixed the gas leak. Oh, surprise, he didn't actually fix the gas leak. Okay, so then he had to come back and fix the gas leak, actually fix it. All right, actually no. Before the master plumber came, there was just like a regular person who had to come and like check it out. My super checked it out, and then somebody else had to check it out, and then they got the master plumber, and then the master plumber came back. So this whole entire thing is a span of like, I want to say a month, just to get somebody to like fix the gas leak. All right, so obviously they turned off the gas and everything like that. Then once the master plumber came, okay, we should be good. But then I found out that they had to apply for some shenanigan with the Department of Buildings of New York City, which is like, if you guys know anything about like real estate in New York City and stuff like that, it's really tough, like, and it's just this insane like conglomerate. And so getting to the Department of Buildings and stuff like that, taking something to the Department of Buildings is really like intense and like stressful, and it's a whole thing. And so, and they could take months and months to like get back to you and stuff like that. So then about a month or so in my building is telling me, okay, guess what, guys? I was the only unit with this issue, of course. So they're telling me, okay, so now we have to apply to the Department of Buildings for them to approve of the leak being fixed. I'm like, okay, this is just shenanigans. So I've been without gas, without stove, without oven for a while, and I'm like, okay, I'm so naive at this point because I'm not familiar, so I'm just like, I call my dad, I'm like, okay, so should I like do anything, or should I just take them for their word? This seems to be like taking longer, and it's weird because it's a completely gut renovated unit, so I'm really not quite sure why this would be taking so long. And I'm like going through my text with my property manager to kind of give you guys an idea of the timeline. So I moved in July 31st, and the issue started immediately, obviously. And he is saying to me that Department of Builders did not show up. Then they're saying the inspector will be there by the end of the week. And so this is on August 14th. Oh, and then also my hot water stopped working. And this happened twice. And this is August 14th, so it already happened twice. Me moving in July 31st. So it's a little, like, ridiculous. Your hot water is just not working randomly twice since you moved in, and it's only been 2 weeks. And then also, I didn't mention that my dishwasher wasn't working as well, of course, and whatever. So then they're telling me all these different things, and I keep asking them for updates. I'm dealing with the National Grid people. And then on August 24th, there's a lot of back and forth, and then on August 24th, he says the inspection is going to be happening. The Department of Buildings inspection is going to be happening that day. And then the washing machine, the technician, as well as the dishwasher technician, is supposed to be coming that week as well. So that was the 24th, as I said. The 26th, still not fixed. And so then on August 27th, he said the dryer people should have been there, the inspection we should have an update on the inspection, all this different stuff. 29th, I asked him, no updates except the dishwasher will be delivered tomorrow, he says. And then the master plumber randomly tells him that this is taking longer than normal, of course, so whatever. Then by August 31st, so now this is a month, the dishwasher still was not delivered, the new replacement. The leak, the special leak, has not been approved by the Department of Buildings. The fix of the special leak has not been approved by the Department of Buildings. And then September 1st, I'm saying, okay, the toilet wasn't flushing, there was something wrong with the water in the bathroom, the shower wasn't working either, and then he's not replying, so I text him on the 4th, this is a few days later, any update, doesn't reply. 5th, what's the update? 6th, what's the update? Then he tells me that he basically doesn't have any information because they're not giving him any information. I feel bad for him, kind of, because his job is, he's the property manager, so he really can't, like, make big decisions. All he can do is, like, go to the management company. He's like, I've been up their ass and stuff like that. He's really trying to help. And so, September 7th, the dishwasher still didn't work after they said they fixed it. No one had come, all this stuff. I'm getting very frustrated. So then some things got figured out with the dishwasher, and the dryer obviously I didn't realize it, but it would never work until the gas would work, so it was just whatever. And then he was nice enough to get me like a mini kitchen, which is called, and it's like this thing that's like has 2 burners on top so you can cook, and then like it's like a toaster oven kind of thing. He dropped it off, like just gave it to me. Basically, he went out and bought this for me because he felt so bad out of his own heart. Then they finally got a date for an inspection, and this is October! And I moved in July! So they finally got the real date for the inspection, right? Did we pass? Oh, they don't even know, all this different stuff. Then on October 29th, I'm like, this is it, dude, we're done. And I send this whole long message, and he asked me to like send a whole detailed message to the management company. He gives me their email, all this different stuff. And then we finally passed the inspection on November 7th. And then everything's supposed to be good. I'm like, killer, it's awesome. Then I keep getting billed by National Grid, by the way, for the gas. So I'm like, why am I getting billed? There is no gas. And then they figured out there's another inspection that needs to happen, and it wasn't going to happen until November 27th. So I'm like, wow, this is really disappointing, blah, 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 let's hear and stuff. Then the hot water goes down again, of course. So I think I've been staying with Tom for the most part during during the last, like, October and November, I'm pretty sure. And then I'm trying to figure out, like, when they're going to schedule these appointments because I'm not there and all this different stuff. And then this is when, in December, is when I Airbnb'd my place. So then I'm, like, asking for updates, blah, blah, blah. Then December 13th, it's literally almost the new year, and they say everything's good. I can call National Grid to turn on the gas. Wow. December 13th from July. So that's 6 months. Well, I moved in the end of July, so 5 months technically. Then January 14th, I messaged him. So I Airbnb'd my place for all of December and then January. And I was just like, I need to get out. So Tom and I have been living together for a while. Came to the conclusion that we wanted to permanently live together again. We have been apart for a year. We had a solid year of not being together, exploring our own lives, being our own people, living apart. And we felt that was really beneficial in enough time. And once we started living together, it all happened naturally. Once we started living together again here at his place, we just hated the idea of not living together again. So there was no point of me having my apartment. I was Airbnb-ing it, and living here, and we just never wanted to live apart from each other again. And at some point, Tom, said something which I can't really remember the exact words, but he was just like, it feels like another ending, you know? Like, if I'm gonna move back to my place and he's gonna stay here. We had this whole, however many, 4 months or something together, living together again. We were so happy and we loved it, and we were in such a good place, and we had decided to get back together and stuff, and we just, didn't want to not live together again. And so I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to just get out of this place. They've already effed me over so much. I hadn't even been living there. I hadn't even really been able to fully enjoy the apartment. And so by the time December came around and they're saying, okay, National Grid, you can call them now, I was over it. I was already had a place that I lived. I started life here, basically, and I was just like, absolutely not. So then I basically told them, hey, with all this inconvenience, I would just love to, get out of here. I already started life. I haven't been living there in however long, and I'm just done with this whole situation. I would love to just be able to break my lease and move on. And so obviously, if I broke my lease, I still had 4 months left on the lease, 4 or 5 months left on the lease. So they basically just asked me if I could just keep living there, and they would give me a $200 discount. My rent is $1,900, so $200 discount to pay for a place that I was not living in seemed ridiculous to me. So I basically tried to go back and forth with them of what can be the solution here. And Tom and I had already decided we're going to move into this one bedroom that became available. And so the only option was really to get out of it. So I told them I just want to get out of it. They tried to talk. Well, also the property manager at one point had mentioned to me, back when everything was happening, that he could get me out of the lease if need be. And so then I used that as leverage for this situation to say, okay, he already told me we can get out, so I just want to get out. Then they were coming back and forth with okay, we can't just break the lease kind of thing. So we tried to figure it out, and then essentially I gave them the opportunity, or not the opportunity, but I told them, hey, I'm willing to find somebody, sublease, take over my lease, sublet, whatever the situation is to make it easier for you guys. I got somebody, they rejected the person, we wasted a lot of time, and then it became the end of January, the last week in January, and I found another person, then that fell through, and so I was just well, and so they gave me an option to I still have my security deposit on file, and since I didn't do anything with the apartment, they were like, okay, we'll just keep your security deposit, and you can just break your lease. And I was like, okay, to me, I was like, that's a great idea. Then I told Tom, he was like, what? No, get your money, that's $1,900, get your money, find somebody, we'll find somebody, and just get your money, because that's insane to lose $1,900 for this. So I was like, yeah, that's true. So I looked at my lease for the details, and I sent it to my friend Nija, who is a lawyer. Well, she's not a lawyer yet. She's in law school, and she's just really good at this sort of stuff. And then she advised me to go back to them and say, hey, can we come to a compromise? I will get half of my security deposit back. You will keep the other half. Because, it doesn't hurt to ask, basically, she said. And if they said no, she said, you know what, just leave it, take it, get out of that lease if they're not willing to compromise. So I went back to them, and I'm such an anxious, awkward person. I really did not want to say that to them because we'd already been going back and forth so much, but I did, and then they said yes. So here we are, and I'm getting half my security deposit back and moving into this beautiful one-bedroom apartment. I'm so excited to show you guys. It's gonna be Tom and I, our little nice apartment, and it's so much better and bigger than our first Hell's Kitchen apartment, and we're so excited about it, and all the shenanigans are over. That's the story, that's the tea. All I have to say about that is when you have any issues with your management company or with your apartment, just be on top of it. My super literally told me call 311, make sure you don't have to pay rent if you're dealing with these issues. Gas is a basic thing that you need in your apartment, heat and hot water, all this sort of stuff. So if anything similar happens to you, pound the pavement from day one. That was my biggest issue. I didn't even ask for like any money off. I didn't ask for discounts or anything in the beginning. Like the first 2 months, I didn't even ask for anything. And then I was like, wait, this is a little crazy. So then I got them to kind of give me money for food expenses and laundry expenses and stuff like that. So yeah, my advice for you, if you have a similar issue, which I really hope you don't, is to just be really on top of it. Make sure that you're not getting taken advantage of, and make sure that you are assertive. Even if you're anxious or nervous, be assertive. And you're paying a lot of money to live in New York City, or if you don't live in New York City and you have the same issue, that's a whole different, I don't even know how that works. But New York City is very expensive. You're paying a lot of money, and you should get what you paid for. So anyway, that's my story time. I hope it was interesting to you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to take you guys along on this journey of a new place and a new life, and you know, it's really exciting. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. Love you guys.